Malaysia has been very successful in harnessing the demographic dividend. Today, we welcome Professor Tay Nai Peng, Director of Population Studies at the University of Malaya, to explain what he calls the demographic dividend success. Based on a paper drafted under a development account project, he will explain how Malaysia harnessed the demographic dividend. Professor Tay Nai Peng, welcome. Please explain how Malaysia harnessed the demographic dividend.
Thank you, Vanessa. Malaysia's changing age structure coupled with investment in education, health and gender equality provided a demographic dividend as an increasing working age population would support a decreasing dependent population. The reduction in the dependency burden allowed the country to channel resources to improve human capital and infrastructure in order to drive socio-economic development. Malaysia transformed itself from an agriculture and commodity-based economy in the post-independence period in the 1950s to a diversified modern economy. Following the drive towards industrialization in the early 1980s, the proportion of workers engaged in agriculture fell from 53.5% in 1970 to 10.5% in 2020. While in the manufacturing sector, it rose from a very small base to 25% at the turn of the century, and then declined to 17% in 2020. Employment in the service and other sectors rose from 48% in 2000 to 72% in 2020. The Malaysian economy has grown at an average annual rate of more than 6% over the past 50 years. Between 1970 and 2019, the GDP per capita increased from $360 to $11,400. Furthermore, Malaysia's Human Development Index (HDI) rose from 0.643 in 1990 to 0.810 in 2020, and it is now classified as a very high HDI country. In Malaysia, the total fertility rate declined steadily from 5 children per woman in 1970 to just 1.7 in 2020, brought about by socio-economic development, family planning, and rising age of marriage.
Thank you. How about the workforce? How has it changed?
Between 1970 and 2020, the proportion of the population below 15 decreased from 44.3 to 23.4%. A corresponding increase in the working age population and older population, respectively, from 52.4 to 69.4% and 3.3 to 7.2% occurred. This age structural shift produced the foundation for the demographic dividend experience in Malaysia.
And how did it affect women?
With the 6th Malaysia Plan, 1990 to 1995, the government has been implementing policies and programs to empower women to contribute their resources to national development. Great emphasis has been given to addressing gender gaps in education, health, employment, and the economy. Malaysia places significant emphasis on education, especially regarding science and technology, and promoting female participation. One of the development strategies has been to accelerate human capital development for an advanced nation through industry-led technical and vocational education and training. The female labor force participation rate rose from 47% between 1990 and 2000 to 55% in 2020. This rise has contributed an additional 842,000 workers to the workforce.
What was done in Malaysia to make these changes possible?
Socio-economic development and the rising standard of living have been achieved through quality employment opportunities, entrepreneurial support, and increasing use of modern technology in small and medium enterprises. Labor law promotes the elimination of forced labor and discrimination in respect of employment. Talent Corp, a national agency, works with employers to implement work-life practices and recruit and retain women on career breaks through the Career Comeback Program. The government provides a one-year tax exemption for women returning from career breaks. In addition, the government has been promoting family-friendly practices in the workplace to alleviate the stresses that parents encounter in balancing their work and household chores, including care for the young and the old. Health services are available through an extensive network of government and private hospitals and clinics. Malaysia has an effective maternal and child health program that has contributed to low maternal and child mortality.
What would you say are the most important lessons?
The Malaysian experience shows that harnessing human resources, including those of women, can mitigate the adverse effects of relatively fast population growth on socio-economic development. Malaysia also sheds light on the important role of the state. A pragmatic approach to development planning and prudent management of the economy have quickened socio-economic development. Furthermore, industrialization and the push to a service-led economy have enabled Malaysia to reap the benefits of its demographic dividend.
Thank you for sharing with us this valuable insight on harnessing the demographic dividend in Malaysia.